I am obsessed with notebooks. I've been writing in notebooks since I was 7. I used to write down my dreams, feelings about my day, what made me upset or ecstatic. I remember reading an entry from when I was 6 and I wrote, "The kids were mean to me today at school." And then I moved to the next line, "But I lived." I don't think I've ever written anything more powerful than that. I filled up my first sketchbook when I was 9, and I've filled up a few since then. There are plenty of notebooks I've started that I just sort of never finished, which doesn't make me feel guilty, but maybe it should, since that's like a lot of blank paper. Not many of those ideas, entries, notes, or drawings are all that good to me today. I barely read any of them, and I never go trawling through my old ideas looking for inspiration like I thought I would. Some of those entries are actually pretty cringy and self-indulgent, I would say. I was in my feelings a lot growing up. But even today, I believe that there was nothing more vital to my growth as a writer and as a storyteller than filling up all those notebooks with those messy, cringy, barely readable bits of my inner life. Which is why the most important tool in your toolbox as a writer or a creator isn't an outline or some app like Ulysses or Scrivener. It's journaling. Contrary to popular belief, being a writer isn't about finishing your novel or an essay or a short story, and it's not even about getting your work read by other people. Being a writer is about writing. Whether that's for 2 minutes a day or 2 hours a day, whether you express yourself by putting your words onto paper or by texting it to somebody, you're a writer. And it might seem like everyone does that, and maybe on some level we all do, but what makes someone call themselves a writer is their willingness to write deliberately, day after day, rain or shine, good or bad, whether the words come out like water from a spigot or like water from a rock. Journaling is the purest form of that discipline. There's no project or end goal. Most journals just end up like mine, unread and maybe a little bit feared. The whole of it is just stringing words together, telling no one but yourself what's in your heart. The act of writing is the point. I think as creatives, we tend to forget that while our craft is found in the finished product, our song, our book, our essay, our play or movie, our lives are lived in the act of doing those things, of playing music, of writing. Adults call this time practice, right? The time you devote to becoming better at the act of creating. But children, who I think have a better grasp of this, call it something else. They call it playing. Writers need to play. The other day, I had this really strong, vivid image in my mind of someone in a dark forest alone at night, just digging in the soil with their bare hands. Was it attached to a story? Did I want to turn it into a scene? Did I want to make it into a capital T thing? No, not really. I just wanted to write about that sensory experience, about what it would be like to be alone in a forest, your fingers desperately clawing at the dirt. So I took out my journal and I wrote 500 words exploring that experience. And in writing that, I discovered who that person was, why they were digging, what they were trying to hide, the context of that moment. And as I wrote, it sort of came to life. And then at the end of my lunch break, I just put it away. Maybe I'll go back to it. It felt like something that was very lively to me, something I would maybe want to revisit. But the point is, it already served its purpose. I've stretched that muscle. I've played with a sensory experience in a way that I might find useful one day. Natalie Goldberg calls the same type of journaling composting. In her book, Writing Down the Bones, she says, "Our bodies are garbage heaps. We collect experience, and from the decomposition of the thrown out eggshells, spinach leaves, coffee grinds, and old steak bones of our minds come nitrogen, heat, and very fertile soil. Out of this fertile soil blooms our poems and stories. But this does not come all at once. It takes time. We must continue to work the compost pile, enriching it and making it fertile so that something beautiful may bloom and so that our writing muscles are in good shape to ride the universe when it moves through us." I've spent the last several months writing down whatever I felt like. I wrote down memories and attached sensory experiences to them. I fictionalized entire memories. I just wrote down fiction. And, oh, hey, what's up, buddy? I've written entire fictional accounts and then just stopped in the middle whenever I felt like it. I've gotten things out of my system so that I could focus on the things I was actually trying to finish, short stories or essays or what have you. I've gotten things into my system so that I'd be prepared to write about those things when the time came. I've done with my writing what I've done with my drawing ever since I was a kid. I've written what I felt like, regardless of whether I thought it was good or usable or useful. I said earlier that journaling is the writer's best tool, and I take it back. I think the writer's best tool is just playing. It's joy in the act of doing something, not just joy in the act of finishing. Whew. Hey, buddy. If you guys enjoyed that video, please consider supporting me at my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Roadie. It's going to be in the description. Hit subscribe if you want more of this content, and hit like if you like this video, and yeah, I'll see you next time.